This week on Two Legs, new songs, new shows, new books, new everything.
Yes, knew everything because we are living in a material world.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right. Hi, McCartney fans, and welcome to another edition of Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. We are a Paul McCartney talk show mainly dealing with Paul's solo career. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Tom Hunyady, and you may know me from my other show, Talk More Talk, where we talk all solo Beatles, and it's a video cast, and we do that every other week, and it's a great time. And I'm joined by my partner in crime, Andy Nicholes. Andy, my friend, what's going on?
Evening, Tom. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I got a little nose congestion thing going on, but I think I'll be okay. That time of year where sinuses start
Hey, it's the most
kicking
wonderful
in.
it's the most wonderful time
It
of the
is.
year.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. So what's been going on in your world, man?
Well,
Everything all right?
everything's good. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. So it's
Yeah.
it's been a while
Yeah.
since we've done a Two Legs. I had a couple of friends and fans contact me saying, you guys came out of the gate and did a bunch of episodes. They were great. When are you doing
Right,
the
right.
next one? I said, well, we're going to do it. And we wanted to tie, and the way it turned out with everything kind of going on with McCartney and everything timing
Right.
up with the new songs, and then announcing his tour is of Europe, which a couple dates, which we're going to talk about, ended up
Right.
tying into a nice time to kind of collect all this little bits of stuff going on. You had mentioned the singles box, which just came out Friday, so it
Yeah.
it ended up being a nice time stopgap to kind of collect all these little various bits of news and
Absolutely.
throw together kind of like a hodgepodge kind of show for tonight.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. I love these kind of shows where it's basically all news. You get some new songs to talk about, and
Yeah,
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 it's a lot of fun. We
yeah.
get a big fat box set that we get to talk about briefly, and but you had went to a pretty cool lecture presentation, if you will, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So with somebody that I know, and somebody that I think you'll hopefully meet for the first time, or
I
meet
did.
again.
Meet again.
Meet
Yeah.
again. Yeah, I should say at the Fest for Beatle fans. But go ahead and talk
Yeah.
about
So
what that was.
yeah, last week, no, I think it was November 15th, we had met Ken Womack at the
Cool.
Grammy Museum in Newark, New Jersey, and he gave his presentation on Abbey Road and Solid
Okay.
State to tie in with his recent book, which I just finished about a week ago, and is a tremendous book by Ken Womack. And I had gone with a couple of friends, and Ken and I had conversed a little bit on email and Messenger and stuff like that, and
Cool.
back and forth. It was finally nice to finally meet him in person.
Nice.
And he gave a wonderful presentation there. May Pang was also in attendance. She was sitting
Oh, wow.
a few rows behind us, which was cool.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
so it was a wonderful presentation. Wasn't overly long. I think it was from about
Okay.
maybe 7:30 to about 9.
Okay.
On a Thursday night, but it was it was multimedia driven. He had video clips, and was most impressive to me and my friends that went to was the multi-track recordings that he played from snippets of Abbey Road, where
Gotcha.
you heard the isolated instruments as we've talked about. When we did our Abbey Road segment on the Paul songs, where you heard stuff like the Moog synthesizer, and you heard
Right.
you heard guitar solos that were buried. The guitar solo on "Here Comes the Sun" that they didn't know about, and
Gotcha.
yeah,
How was that solo?
it was good. It
What
was
you
really,
think? Okay.
I really liked it. I mean, I liked the song as it is, but
Right.
it was a pretty cool little thing. And
So is it a acoustic solo, or is
uh,
it an electric
no,
guitar solo?
no, it's an electric solo. I'm pretty sure it's an electric.
Oh, okay.
It's an electric
All
guitar
right.
solo. Yeah. But yeah, it was interspersed with a lot of different clips from archival footage from the anthologies, plus some other things. But what was always fascinating to me, I mean, the history, most of us in this field kind of all know it, was the technical aspect, and that is something that Ken thrives in, and he's done his
Right.
he's done his research. Clearly, with that, in terms of the recording console, the state of the art of the facilities at Abbey Road at the time, and also the other studios in London that were kind of leaps and bounds a little bit ahead of Abbey Road, which is why the Beatles went to these other studios. They went to Olympic
Right.
Studios and Barnes.
Yeah, that's right.
They went to Trident because they were a little
Mm-hmm.
more hip and current.
All right, so speaking of a hip and current, like you said a few minutes ago, we just got these two new songs from Paul McCartney that we'll talk about here in a few minutes. But first, just let me say, we were scheduled to have a guest for a show in between what we're doing here and our last show, but unfortunately he had to cancel, so we're hoping to reschedule that interview soon. So, but in the meantime, yeah, we've got a lot of news to talk about. We got some songs to talk about. We're going to talk about what the Billboard interview. We're going to talk about this big Beatles Singles box set that we can see right behind you. But first, let's get to So this live news. The guy keeps going. He's the Energizer Bunny
the
here.
The Freshen Up tour.
The Freshen Up tour. it's the never-ending tour. That's what started back in 2002. I believe it was 2001, right around that time. And he's going strong. He's still going strong. So
yeah, up and coming, freshen up,
one-on-one, or something like that. Yeah,
he's had all kinds of incarnations of it, but
yeah.
He's listen. He's 77. The man knows what he's doing. I mean, I think he tweaks it just enough to keep people like us happy.
Right. Right. So speaking of tweaking, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second because first up, he's playing Italy. So we know that now. That's been officially announced. It looks like he's going to be in Naples on June the 10th, and then in Lucca on June 13th. So there's two shows right there. France is rumored. It's not on his website yet as is official announced yet, but apparently it's going to happen. So we'll see about that. And then the big live news is that which he had on his Instagram and Twitter account, which was three individuals. What was that? Philip Glass. You had Emma Stone. You had Chuck Berry. You put those last names together, and what did you get?
Glastonbury.
Glastonbury, absolutely.
Which will be his first Glastonbury appearance since 2004 or 5-ish.
Right, yeah. And when is that? You got the date on there? Because my computer's acting really slow. It looks like we are going to
back then or now?
Oh, now it looks like it's going to be what, June 27th?
June 27th. Let's see here.
Yeah, festival June 27th.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Which is right around the same time as he performed. Actually, it was June 26, 2004, when he performed last time. Which, I'm looking at the set list right here, and a lot of the same songs are there that he's still doing now. He's got those few little changes.
Right.
But
now you've got the set list right there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think at Glastonbury is when he debuted like Friends to Go or some stuff that was going to be coming out on Chaos, or is that am I remembering?
No, yeah, it doesn't look like that's
no
here.
Friends to Go?
He does have Follow Me on there. So
that's the one. That's the one.
Yes, that's the one he debuted there.
I knew it was one of them.
Right. Now the standouts here, when I saw him in '93, he did Penny Lane. That was beautiful. Glad he did it. He did that here. He did Calico Skies, which I would love to see him do. I haven't seen him do that song live.
I saw him do that at Citi Field. That was tremendous.
Oh man, yeah, that had to have been amazing. He did All Things Must Pass on that show. That would be really cool. I really loved it when he did it for the concert for George.
That was like that was like the highlight of that show for me.
I think so. That was really cool. I'm glad he's doing something, but it's been a long time. Maybe we can go back to All Things Must Pass.
That would for his little George tribute. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. If he wants to keep doing the George tribute, we'll switch it off to All Things Must Pass.
I see he played I'll Follow the Sun that day too. I think that's
Yeah,
when he dusted that off too.
Yeah. She's a Woman, Flaming Pie. So we can work it out. Which he does do regularly.
Yeah.
So there's a Yellow Submarine he did. So there's a few things in there, but the bulk of it is it's still the same.
It's still the same. That's fully he played In Spite of All the Danger that time too. That's when he first busted that out too.
Yeah.
God, Let Me Roll It has been in every freaking set list, man. Every set list almost in '76.
Oh, but my heart is like a wheel, Andy.
Oh my God! Listen. I hate to just criticize like the Wing stuff, but my God, he's got like the third or fourth song in every set, like of every show.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
and listen, he knows what he's doing, and he's playing to the masses and just trying to tweak it up a little bit for people like us. So, God bless him. He's got audiences that want to see him worldwide. Who will go? And
Absolutely.
Third generation kids now, probably great grandkids now that are going to see him.
Yes, that is very true. Very true. So, and the open was with Jet. How cool is that?
That's
I mean, he
great.
doesn't do that.
No.
He doesn't do that often either. So
No.
Then we get this the Billboard magazine interview. The latest issue of Billboard magazine. Paul McCartney is on the cover. It's featuring the was it the 125
top selling acts.
Top selling acts. I believe it's from 1958 to now. We talked about this on Talk More Talk a little bit, where they didn't have Frank Sinatra on there. Well, a lot of his big hits were before 1958, so maybe that's why.
How do you chart it? How do you chart it?
Yeah, exactly. Elvis Presley was in the top 10. I didn't see where he was charted, but again, a lot of big hits he had before 1958.
Right.
So I would imagine.
I was just looking at it now. So the article was titled "Paul McCartney on Life, Art, and Business After the Beatles" by Robert Levine, and it was published November 14th. So about a week or so ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got you. But Beatles are number one.
Yep.
Excuse me. So I mean, it's pretty cool that nobody has been able to topple the toppermost of the poppermost. It's
50 years on from their breakup. I think they're doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. There's been some pretty amazing acts since then.
Absolutely, and even today still too. But
yeah, and some of them had that longevity. I mean, they've had careers 30, 40, 50 years, but they still can't top this 8-year juggernaut that is
8 years of professional recorded activity from 1962 to 1970.
Right.
Bar none, still is. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Our I should say our boy Paulie is number 12, which is an amazing feat as well. There's a lot of amazing acts that are in that top 10 as well. I mean, Elton John was hot as you can be. Michael Jackson, we all know, Michael Jackson was very hot for a good period of time. Janet Jackson was hot for years on years, but none of them are able to
sustain.
Exactly. I mean, they've had long careers, but they weren't able to sustain this success for decades on end, which it happens. It happens.
Yeah. And this article was nice. It was they kind of touched upon that Egypt Station was his first number one album in this country, in America, since Tug of War, which, depending on your viewpoint, your stance, you could think it was a legit number one, or was it more of a hype machine that got it to a number one? I'm kind of
doesn't matter. It's still a number one album.
It is. It's a number one album. I do think that the hype machine got a little bit more behind this album. Grand Central Station, the James Corden thing, obviously helped.
The marketing team did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think it's a deserving ranking. I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, I thought he might have squeaked into the top 10, but 12, I mean, that's very respectable. Very respectable.
pretty
You know.
pretty pretty damn good for a guy that's basically been on his own for 50 years
Right,
still
right.
too.
Because like rest of those artists, he had a good 15-year, 16-year run of success from 1970 probably up until like 85, with his last top 10
No More
with
Lonely Nights.
oh well, Spies Like Us was
Yeah,
85. So,
yeah.
that was
I
his
don't think that was
last.
a really a hit though.
Oh, it was, of course it was a hit. It was number 5.
In this country?
In this country, yes, it was a top 10 hit. I don't remember if it was number 5, maybe 6, but it was a top 10 hit in this country.
Wow.
Look it up. It's true. It was his last top 10 hit up until his work with Kanye West. So
Sorry.
yes, to this day, I haven't listened to any of those recordings
Uh,
except for just
four,
what Paul
5
did.
seconds,
Yeah.
please.
I haven't listened to the actual 4 or 5 seconds by Kanye. I've only listened to what he did, what he does, or what he did in his shows. So
Oh,
that's the
okay.
only way I've heard that song.
There's that other one that he
Um,
did with him called One Day or something.
yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the interview also mentions that he's working on, which we already know, he's working on the music for the
The mu-
the play version of It's a Wonderful
Wonderful
Life, which
Life.
I'm really really curious to see how that's going to work out. And it's probably going to be his next album, I would think.
Yeah, like a
If
soundtrack.
yeah,
That'll be
exactly.
that'll be his next thing. Yeah, for
Right,
sure.
right.
But
But
I liked the interview. I thought it was a good interview. The questions were, they were kind of geared towards more of his music publishing
right, right,
things, history about like the copyrights with the Beatles, why he formed his own company, and how that was, and kind of learning about how you don't really own songs, that they go into other kind of corporations, and there's shareholders and stuff like that. So it was
right,
interesting looking at it, the questions that were answered in that interview, and it read very nicely. They conducted it at the interview. The
right,
guy who wrote the article did it at MPL Studios in Soho.
right.
In Soho. So
Gotcha.
it was interesting reading it that way, and there was
Right.
nice little tidbits there where. He talked about Arrow Through Me,
Right, yeah, exactly.
he listened to Arrow Through Me, and that was a
Right,
nice little piece to read that, saying, oh, he hadn't heard
right,
that, and he heard it was a nice little bass line and stuff in there, and like
right, right.
you and I are sitting here going, yeah, no shit.
Right. No shit. Well, I like the fact that he's looking back and he's starting to appreciate this work. Excuse me. That he did back then, because for the longest time, because Back to the Egg didn't do well on the charts. So you figured, okay, he just
But
disregards this album. I mean, it's not
didn't do well for McCartney standards.
true.
Anybody
Right.
else that got to number 10 or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
So that's a pretty good. You make a top 10 album. That's pretty good.
Right.
But by his standards, it was a failure.
It absolutely was a failure. You figure any other act would have loved his failures.
Of course.
You know?
Right. So there's like this. Here's McCartney
Yes,
standards, and then there's like
exactly.
everybody else. So
Exactly.
Back to the
Exactly.
Egg. I mean, it was, somebody asked him in an interview one time, I think in '86. They said, "Oh, that was a concept album." He says, "No, it was a bombcept album."
But the cool thing is that he mentioned a song like Arrow Through Me and how he appreciates it now, and so that makes me that made everybody on Facebook and whatnot, social media, just think, okay, well, is he going to do Back to the Egg next on the archive set?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've heard Back to the Egg and London Town, and then we heard Flaming
Pie,
Pie.
but then that died away.
Right, yeah, and then unfortunately looks like we're not going to get an archive set this year. So next year, hopefully, when we get it, I mean, are you looking forward to? Would you rather see London Town and Back to the Egg, or Flaming Pie? I mean, where would you like to see this archive set going?
I think he needs to wrap up the '70s period. Wrap up the '70s period. Flaming Pie, and we've read a lot about it online. I know it's been talked a lot about on the Hoffman forums, and that'll be a tremendous archive set because of the amount of material that's out there, the B-sides, all the Yubu Jubu stuff that was bundled, with the singles, the In the World Tonight documentary. That'll be a great standalone package, but I don't think it's ready yet. Bookend, get rid of the '70s and release London Town and Back to the Egg, and then he can kind of figure out the Scott Roger and the marketing people can figure out how they best, and they know what they're doing. So I mean, it would listen. We're super zealous fans. We want everything all the
Hmm.
time. So,
Exactly.
they probably have a whole big board over there in MPL. They're probably
Let's hope.
the next 5 years saying this
Yeah.
is this is this, and obviously right now they wanted to push out these two standalone singles left over from Egypt Station. That was their focal point for the end of the
Right.
year. So if we didn't have these two new songs, or they weren't in the works, maybe we would have gotten an archive set this year.
Right. Yeah.
Because this
Perhaps.
time last year is when the Wings 71-73 set was
Right.
coming out.
See.
So
Yeah, and then that was a very exciting release, and people were generally excited to have that release. I don't think they were excited about the price tag
no,
that came with getting that release, but excuse me, you'd figure with build on that momentum because I mean I did sell out. You can't get it anymore unless
is it
somebody's selling it for like 100 billion gazillion
is
dollars
it
on eBay.
isn't it like $2,000 still on eBay?
Maybe I haven't looked since it came out, but I know people since the day it came out, people have been asking way too much for it, and they've probably were asking way too much for it to people at MPL. But build on that momentum. Let's get the London town. Let's get back to the egg out. Let's get that
I
that
think
7-9 tour in with it.
in with
You
it.
know,
Put
yeah,
that get that live show in there from
right,
the Scotland or Glasgow.
exactly,
Get that
right.
in there. I do think that there's been he's had an issue with kind of identifying with and kind of talking about that era of Wings, even like
Hmm.
71-73, like the Wings that was not considered as successful as the Band on the Run
Right.
era of Wings.
Era.
And
Right.
I think because he's always been very reticent to dive into the Red Rose Speedway and wildlife stuff because it was so critically panned. Just
Right.
so as was, I mean, not as much so in London Town and Back to the Egg. London Town sold much better than Back to the Egg, but still
Sure.
they're not big critical smashes. So I think
No.
he's always been like, how do I frame this now in a 2018 or 19 context and put a spin on it when it really wasn't received well at the time? And I think he's got enough people around him now to do that and say, bundle these two
Hmm.
things together, you know, frame it as okay. The Wings was winding down. I had a son. Well, he had a new son.
Right.
Wings was wrapping up. They did a tour, and you just put it out that way. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think he has anything to be embarrassed about with those
no.
albums. But
No.
for some reason he always has.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, the you look at interviews in the like the 80s. Linda McCartney didn't help matters when she's saying throughout the Wings time where she's felt Paul hasn't had the musicians like in the Beatles where he hasn't felt comfortable or that's why he's so negative or skeptical or from time to time throughout this time in Wings. you know but like to your point though, I mean, let's build on that. I mean, that was a success. Those two sets, excuse me, and that box set together, it was a success. It sold
Right?
out.
Yeah, it's sold out, and
I saw
people
people
want it.
on the forums going, I can't believe I'm going to buy an album I don't like in like Wildlife or Red
Right.
Rose Speedway.
Right.
It was hilarious that people are actually
And sweetening the pot by having
right.
that live CD bundled in with it, only exclusive to
Absolutely.
that was marketing. Was
Exactly.
a marketing brilliant move.
Right. So why not continue that? Why not?
And do you think theoretically they might do the same thing with that 79 live show where they just make it
Absolutely,
available
yeah.
in the box?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Since that set, sold out, I think it's gonna happen.
I think Scott Rogers said as much, in an interview years ago that they are going to get to all the albums,
Right.
but in between all these, like I forget how exactly he framed it, but like there's like top tier level stuff that is
Right.
comes first, which is like whatever he's working on currently, like these new songs,
Hmm.
the musical he's putting together, and then there's like level
Right.
2 stuff, which is like these archive stuff. So they
Right.
kind of prioritize what they're working on release wise for him, whether it's like his live career, his current stuff he's working on, the archival stuff. So they've got it all figured out. I mean, I think we're 10 years into it just about now, and I did seem like years ago that we weren't really sure. It seems much more consistent now. Whereas remember like years when it first came out, they were like in
Hmm.
dribs and drabs. It seems like the last 3 or 4 years, Flowers in the Dirt. I mean, it's been a little bit more consistent. I mean,
Right.
to me, it feels like anyway. It feels like it's gained momentum over the last few years.
Okay, but think of this. You mentioned, okay, they got a plan. They're working on these new songs. Let's get these new songs out before we go back to the archives. When did the archive come out last year?
December.
Okay. When did Get Enough come out?
December.
Okay, New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, right.
That's close together. They could have released these two new songs like they did, and then put out the archive set at the end of this month.
They could have.
But whatever for whatever reason, it's fine. However, excuse me, just as long as they continue it, I don't care what they put out.
No.
I would prefer them to see them go in order. All right, let's get these wing sets done. Let's get the rest of the 80s stuff that we haven't done, the press to play. Let's get Broad Street out.
I mean, even think about the Broad Street could be its own big thing. Like
exactly,
it could be its own.
Exactly.
I mean, forget about it. There's
exactly.
And again, I mean, think about things that he's kind of embarrassed about. He is super embarrassed about having to defend that. Because
that's fine. I'll help him defend it. It's not as bad as everybody says, or what people say. I mean, I don't care. It's not great, is it? Citizen Kane? No, everybody knows that, but it's still fun to see.
It's a film that has probably 2/3 of it of Paul McCartney playing and performing, and singing music.
Right.
What's wrong with that? Okay, its plot is whatever. Who cares? But the performances in it and the production value of all the songs and the music in that film, off the charts.
Right.
Off the
exactly.
charts.
I agree. So whether or not it's London Town, Back to the Egg, or Flaming Pie, I don't care. Just keep it going. And
where do you think it should stop?
Where do I think it should stop? That's a great question. Wow. Maybe Flaming Pie.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Sounds good. I know. Here's the thing. They don't have to do all the way up to Flaming Pie, but then if you want to continue like with Driving Rain, Chaos and Creation, do like the set that they released for New when they did when they did that little
the
booklet box.
Right.
Continue it that way. You don't have to keep releasing these huge,
an elaborate $120
$150 sets.
No, I don't. I do think Flaming Pie creatively and logically is a good stopping point, because it was the last album that Linda was there for. And
exactly.
that's an important for me and my fandom of McCartney and everything that I've read and studied with him. It's like I look at them almost as two Paul McCartneys. There's like with Linda and without, and I think that after Flaming Pie is, I don't think it warrants any archive treatment. I think because it's nostalgic enough. That period, it was the end of her life. You put a nice little tribute to Linda in that package.
Absolutely.
And you call it a day on the archive series.
Yeah, I mean,
my opinion.
You look at this. This is like the Paul and Linda story. This is, everything that they've created in that 27 some years. 26, 25 years.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's a logical ending point for this archive. But again, well, we might get some deluxe box set of Chaos and Creation the way these things go.
Well, as Asia once sang, only time will tell, my friend.
Good song too.
A great song, great album.
Great. The self-titled Asia album, 1982.
Yes.
Steve Howe, tremendous.
It's an excellent. album,
I'm a progger at heart, though. I know you're not into
I
the
do.
I know you don't like it. But...
No. I've just touched the tip of the iceberg. I don't like. However, those 20-minute instrumentals, are not always my thing.
So the archive series is going to be interesting to watch and unfold as time goes on.
Yeah,
and we'll be there every step of the way dissecting. And God, please do not include stuff as downloads. Give us it on a physical disc, please.
Right.
Do not make us do Flowers in the Dirt to download extra tracks. Do not do that. Paul and Scott Roger, if you're watching this, you're not. But if you are, don't do that. We'll take the physical disc. Thank you.
Right. I'll give you the extra $20 or $30 or $40, whatever.
Here.
Put it all on a disc. Take it.
No,
please.
Don't give me downloads. I don't want it.
Yep. Not this crew, anyways.
No. No, sir.
But all in all, it was a pretty good interview. Can't find this magazine anywhere.
No.
Went to Barnes and Nobles today, again after going last week to see, if they had it. The guy there said they stopped selling it. So I don't know if we're just gonna have to get it on, end up getting it online or what.
Probably your best bet, really. I know, like a lot of them, my local Barnes and Nobles, they either get it or it's like by the time they get it, it's like 3 issues old already.
Right. Exactly.
So it's you
Yeah.
better be just getting it online. But
Yeah.
it was a good article. It's current. It's hip. I mean what more can you want?
Is that going to be the two words of the day? Current and hip.
Current and hip. Current and hip,
Current
baby.
and hip.
Current and hip.
Anyways.
Home tonight
Yeah.
and in a hurry.
Yes, we'll get to that in a couple minutes. Anyways, let's get to the last news item.
Oh, right, we got one more thing, right?
Yeah, one more. Two new books that looks like they're going to be coming out. I think one's looking like it's going to be coming out at the end of this month, being November. This being called the Paul McCartney Catalog. This is going to be by Todd Montgomery. I have reached out to Todd. Todd. I'm sorry, Ted. It's Ted Montgomery. Apologize, Ted, if you're watching. Ted Montgomery, the Paul McCartney catalog, and it looks like it's coming out at the end of the month. Like I said, reached out to him. Hopefully, we can get him on and talk to him about that.
Cool.
Next book. Really cool, really interesting. It's called Little Wing, the Jimmy McCulloch story. It's by a friend called Paul Saley, and we've been in contact with him. Looks like as soon as he gets an official release date, we'll be talking to him about this. It looks like what he's going to do is, looks like it's written. He needs to fly to wherever the family is and to get their approval.
Right?
Yeah, and then hopefully.
I'm really looking forward to reading that book, and I commend Paul for tackling, covering Jimmy's life like that, because I think it's a story that needs to be told. Tremendously young, gifted guitarist, whiz kid, I think 18 or 19 years old, maybe even younger, playing guitar in Thunderclap Newman. On their famous one-hit wonder, Something in the Air, which was produced by Pete Townsend of The Who. And then joining Wings, and really being there for the epic,
big
years of Wings. Came in in '74 to Nashville and stayed up until the beginning of London Town. So that '74 to '77 period, he was there for it all, man. So
absolutely.
Sad life, and passed away, I think, at 26 to drugs.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the research that Paul has done.
So am I.
Regarding his life, and the fact that he has his family's blessing is a good thing too. And I'm sure, hopefully they're on board with it too, with everything that's gone on. So we're looking forward to seeing that.
Right. Yeah. So you're looking at possibly, debunking some rumors that have been there in the past. The songs Wino Junko and what was the other one? Jimmy song that he wrote, but he really did wrote the music. The lyrics weren't really necessary. Medicine Jar. Thank you. Yeah, Medicine Jar. So he talked about those as well. So yeah, as soon as we can get him on, I can't wait and talk to him about this, and really look forward to that.
Nice. I think he has the cover art too on Public Now.
Yeah,
really cool cover.
Yeah, we'll post this, and you'll see it if you watch the show on YouTube. We'll post a picture of Ted Montgomery's the cover of his book, and then the cover of this Little Wing, the Jimmy McCulloch story. So, two books, coming up that maybe you might want to check out.
It's nice to see a trend now over the last decade or so of more books popping up about McCartney's solo career, which was the basis of a lot of my personal thesis that I wrote in Liverpool, that there was a lack of this really out there. And over the last decade or so, really in the last 5 years, there's been a lot more coming out now.
Yeah,
and we've got a lot now. Luca Perazzi, and now we've got Alan. We've got Alan writing which is going to be a tremendous volume.
Absolutely.
You're
looking at them all right now. You got John Blaney, who's his 4 book set called The Songs
Singing.
Songs He Was Singing, Volume 1 to 4. You got Luca, like you said. You got all these different biographies. All
really recently in the last 10 years or so.
Right.
So
and you got our friend Adrian Allen's book that just came out earlier this year. We'll have him back on the show when Volume 2 is.
He's putting Volume 2 out right now, and his book is tremendous. And if you didn't see our show on that, check that out, because he tackled that book tremendously. He picked about a dozen songs from each decade and analyzed them from a musicologist point of view. Tremendously well written book.
Yeah. So let's get to these songs.
It's never too late to celebrate.
No, it is never too late to celebrate. I was in a hurry to, no pun intended, to talk about these songs, you know, and then because I was really excited that we were going to get a couple more songs from each station. Unfortunately, you weren't with the show when David and I did our review of Egypt Station. I'm all in. I've put all the chips in. I love this album. There's only really one song that I haven't really cared for. Since this album and all this music has come out, but we haven't really talked about it. So, what were your feelings about Egypt Station? How you like?
I felt it was an instant classic. I did. I thought it was better than new. I thought it was. I did. I thought it was better than new. Probably, maybe not as good as quite as good as Chaos. But I mean, I tend to view things as it's great for Paul McCartney and at 76 years old in 2018. It's hard for me to compare it to some of my favorite albums, but it's certainly top. I would probably have to put it easily in the top 10. I
think I would.
I could put it in the top 10 easily. Maybe somewhere in the 6 to 10 range. Maybe down that way. But I remember when the first couple songs came out in June of 2018. It was like come On to Me and I Don't Know. And at first few moments I heard I Don't Know, I said, this is going to be a great McCartney record. I knew it. And it came out in September, right? It dropped.
Yes.
2018. Yep. Yeah, and it's all the different formats and vinyl editions, this, that. I mean, I don't know. There must be about 10 copies sitting over there.
Yeah, same here, buddy.
Yeah.
Same here.
I didn't get the Travelers though. I was not diving into I did not get the Travelers, but I really enjoyed Egypt Station. There's one or two songs I'm not really too keen on. That's For You. I'm not really keen on that one too much.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I mean, overall, everything. I love everything about the record. The little medley at the end, "Hunt You Down," "Sea Link," is great. And then the songs that have come out since then that have been trickling out, I really think they could have been on this album.
I think so too. I mean, except for maybe Get Enough.
Maybe not Get Enough.
The second half I really love.
I'm with you on that.
I'm still not. Can't stand the auto tune, but
no.
He wanted to do something like that. Fine,
Yeah,
he's got a right to try.
Right. Yeah, but I liked how the album had a nice little theme of the station. You hear the opening station. You hear it wasn't just talking about Egypt Station in relation to the new songs and everything else coming out, because you guys had done a review on Egypt Station last year, which I didn't hear. But my feeling on the album is I really enjoy it. Even a year plus on now, I do go back to it quite often to listen to it. I like lots. Almost. There's hardly a track on it that I skip. I Don't Know, great. Come On to Me, great. Happy With You, love it. Who Cares, great. For You, not really much into it. Confidant, great song. People Want Peace, I like. You're not really into it that much.
No, that's not mine.
I like it. Hand in Hand, good song. Dominoes is a great song. Back in Brazil, good song. Yep. Do It Now, I think is a great song. I love Do It Now. I heard the second I heard that song, I knew I was going to like it. Caesar Rock, good, despite repeated warnings, the whole medley stuff, and then all the bonus stuff. Like Get Started, Nothing for Free. Frank Sinatra's Party is hysterical, good. But I actually like the new songs that just came out on Friday so much. I really think they could have been on the album. I do.
Yeah, I agree. We got if you got the Target edition, you got what Get Started, you got nothing for free,
right?
Which I think would have been nice additions to the album. And then on New Year's we got Get Enough, which a lot of people are leaving it. I'll take the second half. I know you like the second half as well. But,
the second half of that song just goes someplace totally mystical, and it's just a tremendous recording. And that was we were just talking about it a little while ago. That was released with no announcement, no nothing. Just dropped on New Year's Eve. Boom, here's a new song.
Right. And then later, earlier this year, we got with this right here with
the Explorers edition, which is
Right, which is not the Travelers edition, which I've got proudly placed up here on my shelf.
Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's understandable. But we got Frank Sinatra's Party. We got 62nd Street, which two great songs as well, which I think would have been, great. I was saying this earlier, like, there's times where he's his own worst enemy when it comes to picking songs for his albums. I mean, so many great songs through the years. I know you love Red Rose Speedway, but how cool would it have been to have like a song like 1882 on it, or
would have been it would have made a good it would have made a good record, a great record, even better for me. Right.
Exactly. Right. So that's fine. And then now we get these last two songs, which are they the last two songs from each station? I don't know.
Maybe New Year's Eve we'll get another song.
Maybe, but I think the word on the street is that he recorded roughly like 24, 25, 26 songs, and was this it? We'll see.
We'll see. I love them. I mean, I got them through streaming when they were released, and I've been playing them nonstop for about a day and a half, and they're both great songs. What's that?
Yeah, let's start with Home Tonight then. Let's start with Home Tonight.
Home Tonight's a good little tune. It opens up, nice little acoustic guitar. I'm taking you home tonight. Pretty cool. Has that little feel to it. Of a typical McCartney, a little rocker. I mean, what do you think about it? I mean, I really love In a Hurry. In a Hurry for me is it's already up there. It's already up there for me. I already got it up there.
For me too, at first I was like a little skeptical. I mean, I thought Home Tonight was I love that Pure McCartney saying, when that set came out called Pure McCartney, I thought that's a great title, because for me this is a Pure McCartney track. It's upbeat, it's uplifting, positive, catchy. The singing's good. It's fast paced.
Yeah, a lot of energy in it.
Yeah, a lot of energy to both songs, really.
Yes.
And then you got it's a great 3-minute pop song. It's what he does best. The singing's good, and it's continuous. You don't get like a guitar solo break.
No, it's 3 minutes of pop music, high energy pop. Perfectly crafted pop music.
Right, and I love you're getting horns again, which I love that he's continuing this horn.
That's tremendous. When I heard the horns and the sax, I was like, yes, because that's like harkening back to like a Wing sound.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just not getting those, Linda and Denny, harmonies in the back like, we would. But very good, very catchy. His vocals are good. I haven't noticed anything bad throughout this, so which makes me think. I mean, were these songs already done, or did they work out?
And no auto tune, really, that I could tell, really.
Right. So these songs were produced by Craig Kirsten during those sessions right there. So
what do we know? What do we know about the personnel? I was trying to look this up. Is it the same? Is it his band? I mean, I was just curious who played the sax, and I couldn't find any information on who played on these songs.
Maybe we'll find out next Friday, Record Store Day.
With the credits, sure.
Credits, exactly. Yeah, when we get the actual physical media, I'll be in line 2:00 in the morning. I'm so excited for our second birthday. But anyways, with 12,000 copies for this release, I don't think it's going to be a hard find.
No, it won't. It won't. And I think McCartney, for me, and maybe you and maybe some other people out there, so for me, it's like two classifications of how I respond to a song. I either love it right away, instant classic, or it becomes what we call a grower, right? Yeah. And I think these songs were a little bit of grower for me. Even In a Hurry, it took me a few listens to it, and I'm like, and then I got it because. But a lot of McCartney's music, and I know a good friend of mine, watcher of the show, Steve Betchler, he always says, Andy, McCartney, it's some of that music it's a grower, and some of these are growers, and they're so good. I mean, I'm going to be playing them probably for weeks on end. Yeah, both of them, both the tracks. So In a Hurry, yes, I agree. I got the same. Once I heard it while I was at work. I'm not going to say, how or why, but somehow I was able to, get to hear these songs, earlier in the day, and I heard it on my phone, so I really didn't get the full impact. Right.
of the song, but when I got home after work and I got those headphones on, and then I heard "In a Hurry," I heard it, and for me
Great,
it was just
great keyboard.
the hot score.
Right song.
The bass playing on both songs too. Let's not forget the bass playing. It's just spectacular. I mean, this is the Paul McCartney we expect with the bass playing. I mean, just very crisp, very up there in front. Kind of like silly love songs or "Oh Through Me." The predominant
bass is on fire. The bass is on fire.
Bass is on fire. So yeah, I mean, and then for me, this "In a Hurry," the verse is very Beatlesque in my opinion.
Very Beatlesque.
And then you get to the chorus, and it's very hip and current.
Yeah. So there again, but it goes to a place where I didn't think I was expecting him to go, and then it's like
right.
I'm expecting to hear that kind of out of somebody else, and he's doing it.
Right.
And it's like
right.
this is really good.
Right. So I feel like he's taking, parts of the past, and he's taking parts of the present.
Opens up very Beatlesque, right? And then it goes to that crazy, never too late to celebrate all over, which is like you'd hear something, contemporary artists do, and it's like, this is what is going on in this song. It's tremendous song.
Yeah. And then it closes out with this great energy. You get this like audience background. You hear it, and then you get another sax solo at
the sax at the end is so good.
And then you get this nice, and then it ends, and then you get this nice little coda.
Little reprise.
Exactly, reprise. Thank you. Kind of like what we got for "Get Started." It stopped, and then you got then you got a little bit more. Really cool. Man, I'm so excited. I got jeez, I just want this on CD as well.
I mean, we're gonna go get this single, but I would love to have it this on CD.
Right.
It's great having it streaming, but I want to own these songs on a disc, on vinyl.
Right. So if he wants to release another Egypt Station, these songs
and he will. He will. There'll be some other kind of crazy worldwide edition or something. You got Travelers. You got this. There'll be some kind of worldwide edition, version. Right. It'll have these on it, and I'll get it. I will. As long as it's not $400, I'll get it.
A lot of people, before these songs came out, he's releasing more filler or more leftovers. I should say leftovers. These tracks.
No way. I think "In a Hurry" to me for the amount of energy that's in that song and how it ends with the little reprise, that would have been a perfect album closer.
I think so too. I would have loved this song to replace "Despite Repeated Warning." I mean,
agreed.
It's a good song. It's not the epic that I thought we were going to get, which I think it was explained to us that we're going to get this great
big epic medley, and it wasn't. It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It's good. It's good.
It's good, right?
But it's not. It's not the Red Rose Speedway medley. Sorry, had to go there. But it's good. But I think this "In a Hurry" would have been a nice, energetic ending. Perfect album closer, little 20-second reprise, boom, done.
Agreed. I
but hey, listen, we have it, and the beautiful thing is with the world we live in today, we can reconfigure the album any way we want.
Absolutely, we can make our own Egypt Station out there, just like so many people make their own white albums from time to time.
Right. So you want to take these two songs and burn a CD, and make a playlist and resequence them, which I'll probably do that anyway, and then there you go.
Right, or you can do that on Spotify as well for anybody that's that does the Spotify thing.
I'm just I'm going to be honest. I was a little apprehensive when I heard these songs were coming out. I'm like, okay, 2 more songs, and not that I didn't like Frank Sinatra's Party or 62nd Street. Like they were good songs. They're okay, But I think these songs are better than any of the other additional songs that have come out.
Oh, really?
I think these two are better than Frank Sinatra's Party, 62nd Street, Get Enough, any of them.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, in my opinion, I think like they were okay, but these songs, the energy that's in both of these songs, the hooks, lyrically, the Beatlesque component of both of them, for me, make this a home run of all these supplemental material of Egypt Station for me.
I'll agree with you in a in a hurry. This is the grand slam. At the bottom of the ninth, two out.
Yep.
Everybody on, and to win the ball game. This is
listen. Home tonight is good too. I was going to be like, I want to keep saying hurry home. It's home tonight. Home tonight is good too. Home tonight is good. I mean, it's good, and I'm sure I will with more listens. I'll warm up to that even more too. But something
right.
you just hear a song, no matter what you like, artists like, you just connect with it, So and that's for me. That was in a hurry.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to next Friday picking this 45 up, and I don't think I'll play it. I mean, it's a picture disc. Picture discs traditionally don't play well.
So I don't think actually I was planning on going, but it's a record store day. But I'm not getting up that early in the morning. So if you are going, can you get 2 copies and I'll Venmo you?
It's a possibility, my friend. It's a possibility.
Thank you.
They only let you get 1 copy.
Oh, they do?
However, the rule is you're only allowed to get 1 copy.
Oh, crap.
However, my wife is going, so.
Okay, all right, please. Because there's no way I'm waking up at like the day after Thanksgiving and doing that. There's not. I'll if you can't get it, maybe I'll buy it on eBay or something.
Nah, well, if you don't have to, I'll try to save you a couple bucks.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it, my friend. So, anyways, so I'm glad I give these songs 2 legs up. It's
Me too.
Just I'm speechless. I really enjoy the hell out of these 2 songs. But anyways,
it's just amazing, to bookend it. It's like, Egypt Station came out almost a year and a half ago, and there's still, again, as we talked about earlier in the show, the marketing strategy. Did he back when that album came out? Were these songs sitting in the can going, okay, a year and a half from now, we're going to push these 2 out, or did he realize that he had them and was like, you know what, yeah, drop them? I'm always curious to see the strategy and the decision behind dropping these, and when. It'd be a fascinating interview if we ever met somebody in the know, really.
Exactly. I was just going to say that maybe we should try to find somebody in the marketing or the strategy department and try to get them on, see what we can do.
That would be great.
Through this whole Egypt Station journey and get the inside scoop on how the hows and the whys and the wins and.
But really, produced well. And again, I'm looking forward to looking at the credits, because I mean the even like all the instrumentation on this, the sax playing. I'm curious to see who did that stuff and what they thought about it. What was their take on playing on these songs, and did they realize what they were playing on was going to be for an album? Were they just doing a session, or was this a specifically thing? Hey, this is going to be for this release, and it's going to be on this date and this time, and just another interesting perspective to look at to see if other people had a hand in helping him make these songs.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Okay, well, we both agree on that, so I'm happy to hear that we both agree that we really enjoy both these songs, so we can put a lid on that.
Now
we get to our
we're on to our living in the material world.
Yes, because these sets, they just keep coming, and it's just it's never enough, is it?
No, great set.
Yours up there, and then.
Yep. Mine came on Friday as well.
Yep.
As you can see, the Beatles single collection box. An Apple got it. We're talking about McCartney's people knowing what they're doing. Apple really knows what they're doing. They get these products. Now they do. It only took them 25 years to figure out, hey, we could put out stuff every year and people will gobble it up. No shit. So, yeah, I mean, is this a little bit of a cash grab? Maybe. I mean, we all have the songs, but with this set, they really did a nice job replicating all 22 Beatles singles from the UK. But with the twist on it this time was they changed the sleeve art on all these, and they took sleeves from all international releases for some of these songs. And some of these I've never even seen before, so they're really cool. I mean, I'm just gonna pick one out at random here. Some of them, like I know, like this one here. Here's Yellow Submarine. Right here. And looks like it's a Spanish copy, from Spain. Really cool. So they kind of found a way to, make a new product, put a little bit of a twist on it by adding all this different cover art for the sleeves and stuff like that. It's got a nice book, which I haven't even looked at yet, and I haven't even opened it, but I can almost guarantee you the essay is written by Kevin Howlett.
You would be correct.
Yeah, I'm sure. I haven't even opened it, but I'm sure he wrote this.
Right. Well, let's not forget that we're also getting.
Yes. Free as a Bird and Real Love, which I know they kind of did A side, B side with this, but these singles, Free as a Bird and Real Love, were both released as singles in 1995 and 96, and they're all the way on the other side of the room. I'm not going to go get them, but they had different B sides. So like the B side to the original Free as a Bird in 95 was Christmas Time Is Here Again. And I think the B-side to the Real Love 45 was, I think, a live take of Babies in Black, I think.
Okay.
So, I mean, they kind of did their own little A-side, B-side. They weren't it wasn't, again, historically accurate, but I get what they were doing with it,
But it's cool it's here. Listening to Mitchell Axelrod, who is in the know with the Apple people. He's in conversation with them, and he was mentioning how they should have done this release for Record Store Day. That would have been a nice.
That would have been a nice one. Yeah,
nice little touch.
Yeah. This is a cool one here. This is a gatefold. Did you see this one?
I was going to grab that, and I was just going to say, was this originally a gatefold 45? I don't know.
This looks like a Japanese release for Lady Madonna and the Inner Light. I mean, they pretty much replicate how they were issued. So I'm going to guess that this is probably how it came out on the Odeon label too, which is another international label too. Pretty cool though. I mean.
What I really like is pretty cool. I think is the Something Come Together, where you got John there on front, and then when you turn it over, then you got the.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. So you got John right there, and then they kind of halved it and put the other three on the backside. Sweet. It looks like for a few of them, they did mirror their original UK sleeves, or maybe US sleeves. I don't know, like the Let It Be one, and my name. I think that might be an original UK one, and also I think maybe the
Yoko is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a nice one too.
Yeah.
And of course, this one. I think this is the original one too. Of course, right? Strawberry Fields. Of course.
Yeah.
I like to see that one. That was done very well. But I mean, really nice that Apple / Universal did this. I mean, although I never even saw this one before. It's cool.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, this will probably be the first one I play. This might be favorite 45 of all.
Paperback Writer in Rain, sure. And I'm not even look. These are these new? Are these new remixes? Are they?
I think they are new.
Are they based off that 2015, like from the One Plus?
Right. No, I think from what Mitch Axelrod said, they are new.
They are new. Yeah.
Just for this release, yeah.
Yeah. No, but this has been a nice package. Where did you get yours from? Amazon or somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did see a couple days prior to release that there's a couple other outlets like Bull Moose and stuff had it for like as low as $150.
Right. Oh,
wow. I think this was just a little over $2, right, for you?
Right. Yeah.
What we got there?
Well, we can work it out. Day Tripper.
Nice.
Another cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's
so
they went a lot of cool. I'm curious as why did they choose to? That's a cool one too. Hey Jude and Revolution.
Yeah, I really like this a lot. Yeah, Revolution and Hey Jude.
What country?
This is really.
What country does it say?
Probably in the book.
probably in the book. I'm just or maybe on the label sometimes too. Let's see. No. But I was curious. I mean, because they're trying to figure out ways to, market this to people that like have these songs, a million times over like us, but do it with a unique perspective. And I mean, here we are, two huge Beatle fans, and we've never seen some of this artwork before because they're not from our country. So for that alone, I commend them. And like everything they ever do, when they get behind it, they do it well. So
yes, they do.
It's professional, it's researched, it's put together well. And you've got a nice little package here for the singles collection.
Yeah. I'm a really big fan of this illustration of the early.
Why is that?
I just think that's a really cool illustration of them. Yeah,
I
just dig it. It really captures
Tolly. The Tolly label, which was actually this was a U.S. label, right? Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, what's this one here? Los Beatles. I don't even know which one this is. It's in a different language. Let me see. I don't even know which one this is. Do you?
What's the, let me see. This is it the She Loves You or I Want to Hold Your Hand?
I don't know. It's probably She Loves You, maybe, or I Want to Hold Your Hand. Let me look at this.
No, that's I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Quiero tomar tu mano. Mano means hand, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
You can see I did not major in language.
Yeah, so I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, a lot of fun. And I was reading online. People weren't sure if the version of Real Love on here had the George solo. You know what I'm talking about? That George solo from the original version, because then it was redone, right, for the video collection. There was a different guitar solo for Real Love, but this is the original version on this.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this one I did spin last night. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I listened to Real Love and Free as a Bird. I can't really necessarily say that they're, my favorite, to listen to. I can't say that I was the biggest fan of those when they were released. But
okay. So yeah, this here is like all time Beatles for me, because this was like I mean, I know it's not, but I was just becoming a fan when this came out. So these are near and dear to me.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah, but
very cool. So,
good job, Apple. You got $200 of our money again.
Right, yeah. So this is limited edition, just like the Christmas 45s were.
How many? How many? Do you know?
No. I had asked Mitch if he knew, and he said he would ask, but I don't know. But I do know that the Christmas 45s did sell out. That set sell out from 2-3 years ago when that came out.
Right.
So look for this to sell out as well. I mean, I know it's a little bit more expensive than than the Christmas 45s were, but I think the attraction, like you said, are the images from other countries around the world.
Yeah, the international sleeve releases, sure, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So cool. Yeah. We'll enjoy that for years to come, hopefully.
Absolutely. It's just you got to get up and turn the record over every 3 minutes or so. Although, except with Hey Jude, you got a nice little break of 7 or 8 minutes, so you can take your time with that one.
Exactly. So now I'm ready for the next step. Where is it? When is it? Let's get the next.
Well, I guess it'll be Let It Be or Get Back or whatever it's going to be called next year. Going back to the Billboard interview, McCartney did talk about that a little bit in the interview.
Right. So do we want to make a little announcement for next year, or do we want to hold off on that, or
go right ahead?
All right. Well, we're going to both be at Fest for Beatles Fans next March. I think that's the 27th, 28th, and 29th. And looking forward to meeting a bunch of you guys out there. I was super stoked to meet so many people that I've respected over the last few years that I've got to interview, people that I want to interview. Just so many great Beatle people at that White Album Symposium last year. What an amazing time. So many great people I got to meet, and continue, hopefully I'm going to continue meeting a lot of people at this Fest for Beatles Fan. So we are going to be there, and it's going to be great. We're working on maybe doing a panel, so stay tuned to see if we end up doing something like that, but yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. It's the two guys from Two Legs will be in Jersey, and Tom, I'm a Jersey guy, so Tom's going to fly east, and thank you for that, Tom. But it'll be a good time. We'll see our friends that we've seen. It's funny. I don't go every year to the fest.
Okay.
I usually go like every other year. But it's funny. You still see the same pockets of people that you run into over the years, and you can pick up right where you left off. And exchange pleasantries and stories and swap stories and just hang around and sing songs and have a good time. And that's really what it's for. So I'm sure our friend Ken will be there as well, and it'll be good to see him again too.
Yeah. The Kens will be there for sure, because I'm sure Talk More Talk might be doing something as well.
Awesome.
So looking forward to that. Excuse me. So looking forward to that. So anyways, anything else you want to bring up for this show? I mean, it was
like I said, this was a hodgepodge show because we were covering the news and the new songs and the Beatles single collection that came out, and we hadn't done one in a few weeks, but I was happy that we were able to kind of get our schedules together to do it. we'll see what the rest of the year brings out for us. We're going to definitely record again soon when we get Peter Carlin available to talk about his book, which Paul McCartney: A Life, which came out in 2009.
Yeah, so celebrating its. It was released in November of 2009, so it's actually celebrating its 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, no, but everything else is going fine with me. If you want to, you could find me on Facebook or our pages on Two Legs and stuff like that. I'm out there. This will be up on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook. I'll handle that portion of it. And anybody who has any comments or questions or wants to reach out to us about a possible show idea, feel free to hit us up.
Yeah, please do. And you can do that at twolegspodcast@gmail.com. You can also message us on our Facebook page, Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Two Legs Podcast. So there's plenty of ways you can get a hold of us. For myself, I'm also on Facebook. You can find me there. And also Talk More Talk. If you're a fan of that show, you can reach me there as well. So, Andy, once again, a lot of fun. I love chatting with you.
Good time, my friend. Had a lot of fun tonight.
Exactly. I'm having a lot of fun, with you aboard on this trip of this, crazy Paul McCartney world, and really glad you're aboard. And once again, everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for finding us, whether it's on iTunes, whether it's on Podbean, whether it's on YouTube. Definitely check us out on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, since we are a video cast now. So really excited about that. And, as always, everybody out there, have a great day and a beautiful night.
See you next time.
Listening to Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast, hosted by Tom Hunyady and Andy Nicholes, with musical contributions by Dylan